Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaridhari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaridhari Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaridhari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaridhari Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaridhari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaridhari Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamunatira vanachari Jamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Kunjam Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Vihari Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivajakacarya Astatarasadasi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Tri Dandi Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Patita Pavana Savior of the Fallen Souls Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada flooding the whole material world with a tidal wave of super ecstatic Krishna Prema Ki Jai Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivajakacarya Astatarasadasi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premsaka Hoshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mayi Ki Jai Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tusi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaura Premananda All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Smamariti Namane, Namaste Sarasvate Deve, Gauravani Prachaline, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschachadesha Tadine. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 51, text number 50. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Purā rathair hema-pariṣkṛtaiś caran mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ sa eva kālena duratyayena kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ purā rathair hema-pariṣkṛtaiś caran mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ sa eva kālena duratyayena kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ purā rathair hema-pariṣkṛtaiś caran mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. Sa-eva kālena duratyayena te kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ. hema-pariṣkṛtaiś caran mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. Sa-eva kālena rathair te kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ. Any more chanters? purā rathair hema-pariṣkṛtaiś mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. Sa-eva kālena rathair te kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ. Don't be shy. Go ahead. We're all friends here. Don't have to be scared. rathair hema-pariṣkṛtaiś mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. Sa-eva kālena rathair te kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ. Okay, ladies. purā rathair hema-pariṣkṛtaiś mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. Sa-eva kālena rathair te kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ. purā rathair hema-pariṣkṛtaiś mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. Sa-eva kālena rathair te kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ. purā rathair hema-pariṣkṛtaiś mataṁ-gajair nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. Sa-eva kālena rathair te kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ. Purā. Previously, rathair in chariots, hema with gold, pariṣkṛtaiś furnished, caran riding, matam fierce, gajaiḥ on elephants, or nara-deva king, saṁjñitaḥ named, sa that, eva same, kalena by time, duratyayena unavoidable, te your, kalevaraḥ body, viṭ as feces, krimi worms, bhasma ashes, saṁjñitaḥ named. Translation in purport. The body that at first rides high on fierce elephants or chariots adorned with gold is known by the name king. is later by your invincible power of time called feces, worms, or ashes. Purport. In the United States and other materially developed countries, dead bodies are cosmetically disposed of in a tidy, ceremonial way, but in many parts of the world, old, sickly, and injured people die in lonely or neglected places where dogs and jackals consume their bodies and transform into stool. And if one is so blessed as to be buried in a coffin, one's body may very well be consumed by worms and other minuscule creatures. Also, many earthly cadavers are burned and thus transformed into ashes. In any case, death is certain and the ultimate fate of the body is never sublime. That is the real purport of Muchukunda's statement here, that the body, though now called king, prince, beauty queen, upper middle class, and so on, will eventually be called stool, worms, and ashes. Srila Sridhar Swami quotes the following Vedic statement, Yane sahasrani bahuni gadva, dukena ladva pichamanushatvam, sukavahang ye banvajanti vishnum, tevai manushyatma shatru shatrubhuta. After passing through many thousands of species and undergoing great struggle, the conditioned living entities finally obtain the human form. Thus, those human beings who still do not worship Lord Vishnu, who can bring them real happiness, have certainly become enemies of both themselves and humanity. Before we begin discussing this verse, we'll read something from Srila Prabhupada about Jayadeva Goswami, this being his disappearance day. This is from the different purports of Srila Prabhupada. Jayadeva was born during the reign of Maharaj Lakshmana Sen of Bengal in the 11th or 12th century of the Shaka era. His father was Bojadev and his mother was Vamadevi. For many years he lived in Navadvip, then the capital of Bengal. His birthplace was in the Birbhum district in the village Kamde Bilva. In the opinion of some authorities, however, he was born in Orissa, and so others say that he was born in southern India. He passed the last days of his life in Jagannath Puri. One of his famous books is Gita Govinda, which is full of transcendental mellow feelings of separation from Krishna. The gopis felt separation from Krishna before the rasa dance, as mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Gita Govinda expresses such feelings. There are many commentaries on the Gita Govinda by many Vaishnavas. In other purport, Prabhupada explains, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu read the verses of Jayadeva's Gita Govinda, of Srimad Bhagavatam, of Ramananda's Rai's drama, Jagannath Vallabha Nataka, and of Vilamangal Thakur's Krishna Marita, he was overwhelmed by the various ecstatic motions of those verses, thus he tasted their purport. So this is, in other words, Lord Chaitanya very much relished this Gita Govinda. Just consider what exalted literature it must be that Lord Chaitanya himself was hearing and greatly relishing the Gita Govinda. And now from one more purport. This is a lecture, actually. A lecture just like we have the Dashavatar Stotra. We sing the prayers in the Shringadev every day. There's actually a prayer by Jayadev in which the 10 different avatars are mentioned. And we're singing one of those prayers every morning after our Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada then talks about these prayers. So these prayers were offered by Jayadeva Goswami. He was one Vaishnava poet at Vanity about 700 years before Lord Chaitanya's appearance. He was a great devotee. In his specific poetry, Gita Govinda is very famous all over the world. Gita Govinda. Gita Govinda is the subject matter of Krishna playing on flute about Radharani. That is the subject matter of Gita Govinda. Jayadeva Goswami ki jai. So now we'll discuss this wonderful, wonderful verse and purport. It's all coming from Muchukunda. The body at first rides high on fierce elephants or chariots. How many fierce elephants and chariots do we see on today's highways? Oh, we see so many fierce automobiles, fierce trucks, the horns blaring, boom, 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 boom. Fierce trucks and cars. Not adorned with gold, but adorned with, paint, so many things. And they're known by Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, engineer, doctor, lawyer, whatever. All these big, big titles. But at the time of death, Prabhupada said stool, ashes, or earth. And here it said stool, worms, or ashes, yeah. So why are we so concerned about this stool, ashes, and earth? Due to misidentification. It's a big, big illusion. We're thinking, I am this body, it's me. You see? And the purpose says cosmetically. So it is in cosmetics to make ourselves look good, right? To look good. Use some cosmetics. Especially the ladies, they're told they're supposed to be cosmetically beautiful. So we spend all this time beautifying the body, trying to glorify the body. Just like the men, they work out to build a big muscle so they look attractive, you see. So we go on, all this body beautification is going on day after day, week after week, the whole life, trying to make the body look very, very nice, you see. But what is the end? Stool, ashes, and earth, you see. So we have to understand how we are misusing the human form. We have transmigrated through millions and billions of lifetimes. We finally have this human body. It's meant for tato brahma jigyasa. Now you have a human form. You're meant to utilize it for self-realization. Rather using it for sense gratification. It's the great tragedy. It's the great tragedy of our modern day so-called civilization. I ask you, my dear listeners, what's civil about it? How they call it civilization? Is there any one thing civil about it? It's very uncivil. Actually, the animals are even better. The animals are following the laws of nature. Just consider this. There's all these species here on this planet Earth. There's the dogs, the monkeys, the orangutans, the fish, the mosquitoes, the ants, the birds, the trees, so many different species. Which species are polluting this Earth planet right now? Polluting the air, polluting the water. Which species are doing that? Is the dogs? Is the monkeys, the trees, the cactus plants? Who's polluting the Earth right now? The human beings. You see? There's only one species polluting the Earth. It's the human beings, you see. Here we are supposed to be the most advanced of all the species, but actually we're the one species that's polluting this whole place, turning it into a toxic, just like we read every day. You can look on the internet for the weather of Vrindavan. It says very poor quality air. You see, why is the air so poor quality? It's because of all the pollution going on. You see, very poor quality air, even in this holy place. Very poor quality air because the human beings are spoiling everything. Why? Because they misidentify with these material bodies, trying to squeeze as much pleasure as possible out of these bodies. What are you squeezing? Stool, ashes, and earth. I gave you a nice big piece of stool. I said, now you enjoy this piece of stool. See what you can squeeze out of it. That'd be grotesque, wouldn't it? Horrible. Squeeze some pleasure out of a piece of stool? But that's what we're trying to do, you see. This stool bag, we're trying to squeeze some pleasure out of this stool bag. Well, the Tato Brahma Jigyasa, this human life is meant for self-realization. I'm meant for squeezing a stool bag. You see. So how do we get out of this quagmire of trying to enjoy that place where enjoyment doesn't even exist? How do we get out of this quagmire? Sadhu Sangha, you see. We take shelter of those who are realized in Krishna consciousness, the sadhus. Just like when Prabhupada came to America, we were all completely lost. But that one sadhu, you see, the association of that one sadhu created this Krishna consciousness movement, you see. Thousands and millions of people are now benefiting from the association of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Is Prabhupada dead and gone? No. Prabhupada is right here with us right now, just as much as he was in 1965 and 1966 and 67 and 68. He's just as much present with us now as he was then. So we have to learn how to take advantage of the association of this great sadhu, Srila Prabhupada. And by that association, you see, our consciousness is elevated beyond the stool, ashes and earth platform. You see. How do you associate with Prabhupada? By hearing his instructions coming directly. There's so many recorded lectures, and from those who are purely presenting Srila Prabhupada's teachings. He's speaking through them also. His books, those who are purely representing him, his recorded lectures, it's all there by remembering Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, if you think of me, I am there. So even by remembering Srila Prabhupada, we're getting the association, we're getting the dust of his lotus feet in our heads. You see. So let us keep Prabhupada as the center of our lives. Pleasing Srila Prabhupada is the center of our lives. You see. Someone say, well, this is supposed to be a God-centered process. Why are you putting the spiritual master in the center? Because the spiritual master is purely representing Krishna. In fact, Krishna is more pleased when you serve his devotee than when you serve him directly. So that's how we get our inside connection to Krishna. See, God is very difficult to approach, you see. But if you approach God through the medium of his pure devotee, then you very easily connect with him, you see. So Prabhupada has given so many instructions. Chant Hare Krishna at least 16 rounds a day, give up illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. Is it difficult? Well, some people find it to be very difficult.
I find it very difficult.
Some people find, like this gentleman finds it very difficult. Some people find it very difficult. But actually it's not, you see. What is that saying? It's simple for the simple and difficult for the crooked. So we have to develop a very simple mentality. That I'm not this body, I'm a spiritual being. I have to come back to being whom I actually am. Just like we have that somebody has said, know who you are and be who you are. Now would you find it difficult to be who you are? Can you be who you are? Please, please, my dear sir, be who you are. Please, my dear lady, be who you are. Come on, just be who you are. Well, I can't be who I am, you see. It's actually not difficult to be who you are. It's just a matter of understanding who you are, you see. If I think I'm something else and I try to be that, which we're trying to do now, I think I'm this male body, this female body, this American body, this Indian body, this 70-year-old body, or whatever. If we try to be what we're not, it's difficult, you see. It's like it's not difficult to ring the bell. You just went boom, and it rang, you see. It's not difficult. So it's not difficult to be who you are. It wasn't because he knew where the rope was. It was easy. Boom, you see. So if you know where the rope is, you can easily ring the bell. So if you actually know who you are, it's not difficult. But the problem is we think we're something else. If I think that's another way to ring the bell than by pulling the rope, I'll try. Maybe it's by banging on the post. It doesn't ring. Maybe it's by jumping up and down. I do so many things to try to ring the bell. It doesn't ring because I'm doing the wrong things. If you want to make the bell ring, you just grab the yoke and go boom, and it rings, you see. So we actually know that you're an eternal spiritual being, qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord. Jivara Sarupahoy, Krishnera Nityadas. The constitutional position of living entity is the eternal servant of Krishna. So you actually know who you are. I'm not this corpse. I'm the eternal spiritual being. All I have to do is be who I am, you see. Instead of being the servant of my tongue, my belly, my genitals, my false ego, instead of being the servant of those things that are not actually me, let me serve my actual identity. Let me put myself back on the track, you see. The train is a very powerful instrument, but if it goes off the track, it's useless. But it's on the track, it's very, very useful. So all we have to do, my dear listeners, is get ourselves back on the track, you see. So the bona fide spiritual master, he puts us back on the track. Get back on the track. Get back on the track. Get back on the track, you see. If we get on the track, it's not difficult. We're off the track, or we can spin our wheels. It's very fast. Zoom, 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 zoom. But we don't go anywhere, you see. We get on the track, even a little tiny turn will take us. So it's easy to be who you are. It's very difficult to be who you're not, you see. We're having so much difficulty. We're trying to be who we're not. I'm trying to be this body, you see. Well, we can try as we might, but we're going to have a very, very difficult fight trying to be what we're not, you see. So let's stop being fools and rascals and idiots, morons and baboons and all these things. Let us get back to being who we actually are. That's all really saying here in this Krishna conscious movement. Know who you are and be who you are. So let's do it. Let's stop being fools and rascals. What do you think? Let's stop being idiots, trying to be these bodies, trying to be this stool, ashes, and earth. Just imagine the actual nature of the self, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, as opposed to temporality, ignorance, and misery. I mean, it's really what we call in English a no-brainer. It's a real no-brainer. You want to be eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, or temporary, full of ignorance and misery. It's really a no-brainer. Duh. But yeah, we keep trying to do the foolish thing because of bad association. Here we are associating with this culture which teaches us to try to enjoy this body. I remember as a little kid growing up in America watching TV. That was our pastime as kids, watching TV, right? And there was a popular ad on the TV for a toothpaste called Ultra Bright. Remember that one? Ultra Bright toothpaste? Yeah. The Americans remember it. And what was the ad? New Ultra Bright toothpaste gives your mouth sex appeal. A little kid growing up, he hasn't even got puberty yet, doesn't even know what it is, but it's supposed to be some wonderful thing, sex appeal. Well, Mommy, can I have some Ultra Bright toothpaste? Because I don't know what it is, but I'm supposed to have it, right? That's how we were trained, you know. You want to have sex appeal. Yeah, you got to have sex appeal. Then you can really be successful, you see. And it's still going on. We try to be sexy, right? Well, you're not that male or female body, so it's really just an illusion, you see. We should say, how can I make myself pleasing to Krishna? That's what we should be advertising. Bhakti yoga makes you pleasing to Krishna. That's what we really should be trying to do. How can I be pleasing to Krishna? You see? Of course, they say there is no God, really. It's just all a myth. They say, well, you know, God is not really anything, just a myth like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, you know. God, the Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny. It's just some myth to try to make you moral, trying to make you behave nicely. But no, God is real, you see. They say that everything happened by chance, there's no person in control, but I can analyze, I can see that every machine has an operator. I can see this universe function just like a machine, so it's a matter of logic. If every machine has an operator, the big cosmic machine must also have an operator, you see. Why every machine has an operator except for this one? Does that make sense? Every machine has an operator except for this machine doesn't have an operator. Is that logical? Is that scientific? Is that philosophical? That's ridiculous. Every machine has an operator except for this one. I mean, give me a break. I mean, let's stop being idiots, asinine fools. Let's carefully analyze everything. Let's be intelligent about this whole thing. Let's use a little common sense at least. If every machine has an operator, this cosmic machine must therefore also have an operator. So any fool can actually understand that every machine has an operator, so the cosmic machine must also have an operator. So that means these atheists, they're lower than fools. They're less than fools. So every machine has an operator, okay. So let me now, since there's a person behind this whole thing, let me harmonize myself, get in a state of harmonious relationship with that Supreme Person, you see. What is that relationship? That's called love, you see. Or so we hear the term dharma, the Vedic term dharma, the actual nature of the self. It's dharma, you see. So our actual dharma is to have a loving relationship. Everyone has loving relationships. We see it going on everywhere. Everybody wants love. We see that people don't have any friends or family members. What do? They get a dog. Very popular in America, have a dog or a cat. You see. It reminds me of one pastime. When our Mukunda Maharaj, he was Michael, back living in New York, and Prabhupada was having a hard time with his roommate, some crazy boy named Paul. Prabhupada was staying in, and he needed to get out and get a new place. So he came early in the morning and woke up Michael Grant, and to ask for help. And Michael's cat jumped on Prabhupada's lap. And Prabhupada brushed him aside. This is actually, in America, the cat is a very honorable thing. Put the kitty in my lap and pat the kitty cat. But in Vedic culture, no, they're considered dirty. So, but this tendency to keep a cat and a dog or a goldfish or a turtle, you see, this is actually that shows we have a tendency to want loving relationship. That nature is there in every one of us. We want loving relationship. The Mayavadis, they say no. Love is just an illusion. It's all one. The Buddhists also say it's an illusion. It's just all void. But no, even the Buddhists and the impersonalists, they'll still want to have. They're still going to look for some loving relationship. That's why Prabhupada explains. After they come down from their so-called Brahman, they engage in philanthropic activities, food distribution, opening hospitals, etc. So that rasa, that desire, that dharma to have loving relationship is there in everyone. So Krishna consciousness means the perfection of love, you see. It's like there was an old song in the old days. Instead of loving a dog or a cat, why not love Krishna who made all of that? So we all know this philosophy. When you water the root of the tree, all the leaves and branches are nourished. You see. When you feed the belly, the whole body is fed. You see. So why not we instead of looking for love here or there and always being cheated and feeling left down and disappointed, why not love that supreme person, the source of all existence? Because that supreme person is not selfish or greedy, exploitative or anything. He's fully willing to love us in pure, unadulterated, loving relationship. As I've explained many times before, that's the real, actual reason we exist. Why do you exist? Is it because mom and dad want to have a baby? No. That explains the body. It doesn't explain the Atma. Why do I exist as a spiritual being? 1/10,000th the tip of a hair. Why do I exist as a spiritual being? Because that supreme person, Krishna or Rama, Jehovah, whatever name, unlimited names, that supreme person, he enjoys loving relationships. That's his nature. He enjoys loving relationships, and therefore, to enjoy an unlimited variety of loving relationships, he's constantly emanating from himself an infinite variety of living beings, Atmas, to have loving relationships with him. So he can have a loving relationship with each and every one of those living entities. Just like in Dwarka, he had 16,108 queens, and he had so many sons from each queen, a humongous family, and he reciprocated with each and every queen as if she were the only queen. So in the same way, Krishna is willing to fully reciprocate with you as if you're the only person. I mean, that's how amazing his love is, that if you give yourself fully to Krishna, Krishna will fully give himself to you. That's an amazing thing. Fully give himself to me, little old me. Yes, that's the amazing quality of Krishna. Just as in Dwarka, he could fully give himself to each and every queen. He's willing to fully give himself to each and every single devotee. You see. So why are we cheating ourselves by not awakening our Krishna consciousness? We have a very unique and sweet, intimate, loving relationship with that supreme person, the source of all existence, going on at every second, at all times, all places, and all circumstances. Krishna is simply waiting. He's simply waiting. When will that soul wake up and come back to that loving relationship? When will he come back, you see? Why is he trying to enjoy separately? That poor soul trying to enjoy separately by squeezing this stool bag, you see. Why is he trying to enjoy separately? Why doesn't he come back to that original relationship? So Krishna is coming, yada yada hi dharmasha. He's coming again and again and again to try to lure us runaway kids back to our home with him in his eternal pastimes in the spiritual world. And any one of 5 primary rasas, you see. We all have actually it's called the constitutional position, sarupa. Each one of us has an eternal form in the spiritual world, in any one of 5 rasas, in neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parenthood, or conjugal. Every one of us has an eternal relationship with Krishna. So why are we cheating ourselves, trying to get pleasure have out of this tongue, belly, and genitals? Why are we cheating ourselves, trying to squeeze pleasure from that place where actually pleasure does not exist? It's only maya sukhaya, illusory happiness. There is no pleasure in this sense gratification. We've got to hammer it into our brains. There is no pleasure in this sense gratification. Hammer it again and again and again to these dull heads. There is no pleasure in this material sense gratification. But yet we keep going after it, going after it. We're actually addicted to this. That's why we keep going again and again and again. I know one of my students, he wants to be a pure devotee, but he's addicted to cigarettes, and he has a very hard time giving up because the body is screaming, give me a cigarette, give me a cigarette, give me a cigarette. But he's working on it to wean himself from this addiction. So our problem is, my dear devotees, our problem is we're addicted to sense gratification. We've been addicted for millions and millions of lifetimes through 8 million from around the species, running after sense gratification again and again in this way, as a dog, as a monkey, as a demigod, as a worm, as a human being, as a male, as a female. We've been running after sense gratification. So we have a very, very deep-seated addiction to sense gratification. So we have to wean ourselves from this bad habit, this addiction, by becoming addicted to Krishna. As we know that Gita verse, this is the higher taste. Vishayabhanivartante. So we have to, many times we've heard the example of the jaundiced patient. He's told by the doctor, my dear patient, if you want to get rid of your jaundice, you must eat sugar candy. But doctor, it tastes horrible. I want to spit it out. You got to take it even though it's bitter. Take that sugar candy. Oh, it's horrible. The doctor said I have to take it. Okay, I'll take it. Oh, it's horrible. I want to get rid of it. I'm not going to spit it out. The doctor said I got to eat it. All right. So it's very difficult in the beginning to give up this sense gratification. We're craving it. Give me sense gratification. But we know this is what I have to do if I want to achieve the position of liberation from all anxiety. So the advice of the spiritual master and the Vaishnavas and the scriptures, I say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to do it. Instead of running after women or men or whatever, I'm going to run after Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. You know what happens? After a while, it starts to taste pretty good. Wow. Well, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Well, it starts getting better and better. It's sweeter and sweeter and sweeter, you see. And finally, we get to a point, it's called ruchi, a very nice level we can shoot for. Here ours, we're in nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ trying to go to ruchi, but it comes eventually. Whereas Rupa Goswami says, Tunde Tandavadang, that nice verse, I don't know how much nectar I can find in these 2 syllables, Krishna, because when I vibrate Krishna, there's so much nectar, this one little mouth can't even hold it. I need to have many, many mouths. And when Krishna enters the holes of my ears, oh, there's so much nectar. I need millions and billions of ears. And when Krishna dances in the courtyard of my heart, my mind is completely captivated and my senses are totally inert, you see. So that day will come, my dear devotees. If we're loyal to our principles, avoiding these sinful activities, and keep chanting at least 16 rounds every day, if we're loyal to this process, we stick with it, as Prabhupada has told us, that day will come, we'll actually see Krishna face to face. Face to face, just like we're seeing each other right now. That day will come, we can see Krishna directly. Can you imagine seeing Krishna and Radharani? Not just the deity, but actually see them directly, standing there, and Krishna smiling at you. You're having a direct reciprocation with you. Just imagine that day will come, you see. Prabhupada actually ordered me. He said, now you must become qualified to see Krishna face to face. How we're working on it. You now means been qualified. Not, I'm sure the Prabhupada's orders for everybody, not just me. He said, now you must become qualified to see Krishna face to face. So let's work on it. Let's get out of this anartha and vritti stage, get rid of all these anarthas, become nishta or steady, unwavering, not like a little here, a little maya there. Come on, a little maya, no. Steady, fixed, like the train on the track, steadily fixed, boom, moving forward steadily. Let's come to that point. Let's not cheat ourselves any longer by running after sense gratification. Let's go for the nectar. There's no nectar to be, there's unlimited nectar to be had in these names. Unlimited nectar. Better than sex, better than money, better than followers, better than anything you can ever get, even on the heavenly planets. Let's go for the nectar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Instead of going after the stool, ashes, and earth. You see. Anybody have any questions? Here we got a hand raising up. Enthusiastically, that's great. That's why I like to say enthusiasm. Very good. Your hand up immediately. That's very good.
Put your hand up.
No, he was very enthusiastic. He went immediately with enthusiasm. It's good. Enthusiasm.
Krishna, my question that you said that people in America, they like to keep like cats and dogs at their home.
Yeah.
But I've seen many times devotees also, they like to keep pets like cats, especially Matajis, they keep cats at home.
Really? Do they put a cat in the lap and pet it?
No, at their home, and they are sometimes encouraged. Like
Why devotees are keeping pets? You want to know why they're keeping pet cats? You can ask.
I don't know why, is it okay?
You have to ask them. Why are you keeping a pet cat? Maybe they don't. Why would they want to keep a pet cat? You can ask them.
One person said that a devotee gifted them, so they said it's a gift from a devotee.
What is it?
He said it was a gift.
Oh, a gift. If somebody gives me a gift cat, I can say, well, thank you very much, but I'm giving the gift back to you. I appreciate your gift very much. Now here, I'm going to give you a gift also. Yes.
Thank you for the wonderful class. When Dhritarashtra was given good instructions that Krishna said to Dhritarashtra that don't mistreat the Pandavas, and Dhritarashtra said, whatever you're saying is very logical, very reasonable, philosophically sound, but somehow or other my heart can't really accept it, and I'm almost like we're being forced, like that this divine energy of Krishna is so difficult to overcome. So what's actually giving the surrender, the intelligence, the mind? I mean, we're hearing good things, but then why do we still give in to the senses? What's not clicking? What's not working?
Because we're lacking faith in the words of the spiritual master. Just like the doctor says, take this medicine, but why do we keep cheating? And the doctor says, take the medicine and don't eat this. Just like I have bronchitis right now, and the doctor said, don't take any milk products. When you take this antibiotic, no milk products allowed. So I think, well, I really enjoy, at least a rasagula every now and then. A little burfi, come on, doctor. You see? If you have this desire, maybe I can cheat in the process a little bit wouldn't hurt. Then we have to have full faith in the words of Srila Prabhupada and not cheat on the process. If we think I can get by a little bit, just a little bit cheating is okay. No, we have to be very strict and say, no, I have to strictly follow what I've been told, otherwise I'm getting myself in trouble. We have to understand, we have to follow the doctor's orders if you want to get well. You can't cheat on the doctor's orders and expect to get well.
That means conquering the unconquerable mind.
Yeah. The unconquerable mind. How do you conquer the unconquerable mind? You have to take shelter of one who has conquered his mind. And by his association, if so-and-so did it, I can do it too. Just like the old example, Prabhupada came to America, who were the first customers? Prabhupada said the hippies were our best candidates, he said, in Boston. They were all drug-addicted women, having illicit sex, taking intoxication. How did they get attracted to Prabhupada? They could see, well, we're having our girlfriends and our illicit sex and our LSD or marijuana, peyote, cactus, or whatever. Here we are enjoying, but we see this Swami, he's chanting Hare Krishna. He looks like he's enjoying more than we are, you see. He's enjoying more than we are by chanting Hare Krishna. So let's give it a try and see if it works. And it did, you see. So we have to see someone like Prabhupada who's fully conquered his mind and what kind of ecstasy he's experiencing. I mean, here he was an old man, not in an old man's body, but he was so radiant. I remember one person said, look at that man, he's shining. I mean, Prabhupada has a certain potency that you couldn't imagine. I mean, we couldn't imagine somebody can have such potency, such beauty, such power, such intelligence, you see. So that's what convinced us to give it a try. When you can, I didn't even meet Prabhupada. I met just maybe one of his disciples that convinced me, Vishnu Jana, you see. This is by Vishnu Jana's association. I said, well, I'm going to get into this. Vishnu Jana is pretty amazing, you see. I met devotees before where they seemed like robots, in the military. Do this, do that. But when I met him, he was like the Pied Piper dancing into Austin, When I saw Vishnu Jana, I went, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. I liked the devotees, but I thought they were a little bit too like robots, You do this, do that. You have to do what the authorities say. And I said, yeah. Huh?
Watch that comment. We have to do what the authorities say.
Yeah, I got to do what the authorities say. That's what they said. One Brahmin said, well, you have to follow the higher authorities. And I was like, no way, I've had enough of the authorities, But when I saw Vishnu Jana, it was a whole another world, Dancing and chanting, his voice. Prabhupada said, anybody hears his voice will become a devotee, Prabhupada said. And it worked with me. I heard his voice and wow, he's in a different plane. He's relishing in nectar on a much higher plane. So we actually experience that. We see somebody who's relishing on a much higher plane. We go, well, maybe I can do it too. Let me give it a try. And we do. It actually works. So that's how you conquer the unconquerable mind, by seeing somebody who has conquered the mind and seeing that they're tasting some nectar that I'm not tasting. So let me give it a try. Let me see if I can learn how to conquer my mind also. You see, that's how it works. You find somebody who's conquered your mind, and you learn from that person how to conquer your mind also. My dear mind, what is that? Govinda Das, Bajahu Re Mana, Shri Nanda Nandana, Abhaya Chadanada Vindade. My dear mind, please now fix yourself at the lotus feet of the divine son of Nanda Maharaj. My dear mind. It's interesting. Sometimes they say, you rascal mind, but he said, my dear mind. If chastising works for you, but if flattering it, whatever works, bring that rascal under control. That's the key. Whatever works. Chastising it or flattering, whatever it takes.
But if you give in to the mind, then it lets you do your devotional service, because then you satisfy the mind, and then you can continue your devotional service.
What is it?
Sometimes if you give in to the mind, then the mind leaves you alone, so you can do your devotional service until the next time it bothers you.
The mind will do what? My hearing's a little bad.
Sometimes you can give in the mind, but then he lets you do devotional service. It's kind of compromise.
The mind lets you do devotional service?
Well, no, it's like if you, like the mind is demanding, see this, taste this, eat that, whatever. And if you give in to the mind, then it lets you,
Then you get off the track.
You get off track.
The mind will take you off the track. See that girl over there? She looks pretty good, you see. The mind will take you off the track. So, my dear, you have to say, no, I'm not giving in to the mind any longer. I've given in this mind for millions and billions of lifetimes, and where has it got me? Another damn rotting material body. I'm not going to give in to the mind anymore. I've been serving the mind for billions and billions of lifetimes, and that's it. My love affair with the mind is finished. Now the mind has to be brought under my control. That's it. Yes, here's the question here.
Hare Krishna. What is the verse in the Bhagavad Gita? It's the higher taste. What is that verse?
Vishayavani vartante nera rashidehina rashaveshang rasho prashra parang vishnadevartate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing the higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
What chapter is it?
Huh?
What chapter is it?
Some of our, one of our, I'm not very learned, one of our pandits can tell you. I'm just an idiot up here. I don't know. I'm not very learned.
And another question I had is, what is a practical way to practice my Sanskrit slokas? I'm very horrible at Sanskrit. I don't practice.
Well, take it slow. The one thing is take it slow and easy. If you want to get good at Sanskrit, don't rush through it. We have a tendency to be like a machine, boom, 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 you know. But just like the amazing thing when you hear Prabhupada speak, I have a tendency to become like a machine, boom, 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 boom. I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture. Prabhupada is speaking like this. Every word is very significant. Every word has to be carefully chosen and spoken. Prabhupada speaks in a very, every word is practically a whole experience in itself. Every single word is practically speaking an experience in itself. So take the same approach to Sanskrit. Don't rush through it. Purā, rathair, hema-pariṣkṛtaiś, caran, mataṁ-gajair, nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. See, don't rush through it. Take every word as a whole experience. Actually, every word, every syllable of these verses is Krishna himself. Every syllable is Krishna himself. So take every word. Purā, rathair, hema-pariṣkṛtaiś, caran, mataṁ-gajair, nara-deva-saṁjñitaḥ. Sa eva kālena rathair kalevaro viṭ-kṛmi-bhasma-saṁjñitaḥ. Don't rush it. Take it very slow and easy, as they say. Slow and easy, Prabhu. Take it easy. My tendency is to rush. But I keep telling them, slow down. You see, there's unlimited nectar in every syllable of this philosophy also. So there's no need to rush through it. Krishna himself is manifested in every syllable of this philosophy. When it's spoken, Krishna is present in every syllable of this philosophy also. So we have to learn that let Krishna dance on my tongue. You see, whether I'm giving a lecture or I'm chanting a verse, let Krishna dance on my tongue. Let him dance. How about a good dance on my tongue? You see, we have to come to that position. There we are told to finish. He very easily rang the bell again, finding that rope. Boom, boom, boom. The President let me have one last question. If there's anything anybody dying to ask. Looks like he's dying to ask.
Guruji, if you want to learn shlokas, I have with the ISKCON kids.
Are you giving an answer or asking a question?
I'm just saying, no. I have a personal, on my poor television, I have a channel, and I teach Sanskrit shlokas. It's called Shlokaship Unlimited. It's on the MTV channel. I teach how to speak the Ucharanam and the Lokanaswami.
You can tell him personally after the class. Yeah, you can talk to him personally after the class. Just meet with him personally, tell him about it. Yeah. So we thank everybody for tuning in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Prabhupada. That's Krishna's mercy. I'm just an idiot up here trying to get out of Maya.
We're all just trying to get out of